Hello everybody, welcome to number 27 from me, Jack, and from Fredo, my beautiful, awesome Alfa 147 GTA. And I have done something really bizarre this time. Well, I have replaced this car, and I know that this is maybe not the most reliable car, but this is quite a modern car. This one is quite well sorted. It hasn't really let me down as yet. And I have replaced it with this. So a couple of things before I show you around this wondrous vehicle, and the first is I've decided I'm always going to wear a turtleneck around this car as much as possible, which isn't too hard because I wear them loads anyway, but it's just too hot at the moment, so this will have to come off in a minute. But before I show you around, one of the most important things is what are we going to call this? And I thought initially I'm going to call it the Lemon, and that's because obviously Citroën, Citroën, Lemon, the link there, plus cars that are lemons and so on, and this obviously isn't in the best state, so I thought that'd be quite good. But then my neighbour said it should be called the Tomato, and I just think it just works really well. So I don't know, both will do, but what do you reckon? Vote. But before you vote, wait until I've shown you around and you've seen the whole car, and then at the end of the video maybe put down a vote. But yeah, the Lemon or the Tomato. There is some sort of method to why I have gone for this car. I know it sounds like a bit crazy and a bit mental, but first of all, there is the link. Loads of you loved Pepe, the 205 GTI that I had before, and there's a bit of a link there. I know it's a different car, but it's pretty much the same company, because by this time Peugeot has already taken over Citroën. And also, these cars are really interesting, and I'm going to talk to you more about that later. But this car in particular has a secret as well, and I'm going to tell you that at the end of the video, but that makes it especially interesting for me and for you. There's another reason why I wanted to own a VX16 valve, and that is that growing up I used to read loads of car magazines, and I still remember back in the day, so it must have been sort of mid to late 80s, they ran a few adverts for the GTI and for the 16 valve. Ever since then, I always just thought that, I'd want one, and they're so individual and so different to anything else out there that I think that alone is reason enough to have a quick go at it. So first of all, the bodywork. Now this is, I think that's plastic, which is pretty amazing. That bumper is really badly faded. Wing there doesn't look too bad, so the car looks okay. There's definitely some issues here, including an actual hole, which is just bizarre how that's gone through. They do tend to go here. The sunroofs are a weak point, but still we've got the wing mirror, a sort of largish dent there. Looking into the boot, the whole slam panel looks like it's a bit rusty. Okay, and otherwise outside, it all seems fairly straight. Big dent there, and we'll go back to that door because there's something going on there. Now, when we come to the engine, well, there's a really unbelievably flimsy, bizarre pull tab. It's almost out of a Kinder Egg. So this is actually quite an interesting lump, because it is a 16 valve and it puts out 158 horsepower, which in the day actually is pretty good for one of these. And I think, although it's sort of a golf-sized car, maybe a bit bigger, it weighs still about 1,000 kilos or slightly less, so it should be able to make it move pretty quick. Then there's that amazing suspension system as well, which is one of the other things that really attracted me to the car. But here it all looks pretty original, if not perfect. Now, another note about the engine: when it first arrived, it had to be jump started, and my batteries weren't strong enough, so in the end we had to hook it up to the van that brought it over, and eventually it did start and it seemed to run pretty well. That's one of the things to do with the mechanics. Also, it was obvious from when it was on the trailer that it is leaking quite a lot of suspension fluid. Now, I knew there was a bit of a leak, but I was hoping it wasn't quite as extensive as it looks like it is. So that's one of the things that will have to be addressed. Probably the first thing is going to be that suspension leak, really. And there's a lot of other things. The battery's obviously shot. I hope the charging system's still working. We'll try that later and see if it's doing anything. If we take a look at the interior next, actually, when we do that, we notice that that door doesn't look like it's very well secured. And the reason is that, the hinge is completely off. And the panel, the A-pillar panel, is pretty rotten. So, okay. So that's a bit of a biggie. Love these sorts of... I absolutely love these seats. I love the old Vela, and the Vela has sort of worn fairly well. It looks like there's a spring loose there that needs to be sorted. I mean, it's pretty dirty, but the interior doesn't look terrible. It's supposed to have 66,000 miles on it, and I had someone look at it before I bought it who is a BX expert. Thanks very much, Vanny. And we went through a lot of stuff about this car, and he reckons that the mileage is quite possibly genuine. Oh, the rear doors I don't think open, or that one doesn't open. This one does. Perfect. You only need one side to get in. And the back is pretty filthy and has a bit mould growing on it as well. So look at that. You can see, well, I don't know what you can see. I've got a drip tray there. It's only been there hasn't been there very long, the car. It's been there maybe 10 minutes and it hasn't even been running. And you can see the evidence of the leak. One of the main reasons why I buy cars like this is because of the sense of nostalgia and because I like being taken back in time. And the interior on this as well does it really, really well. So it's not bad. I know it's a bit mouldy in the back and all those bits, but actually the car itself is not in bad nick, really. And I just love it. I love the soft, comfortable Vela. I love the way it looks, and it's just got enough extra quality to make it much more livable and a nicer place to be in than Pepe, my 205, which the interiors of those really are like crisp packets, and this feels a tiny bit more substantial and has some slightly nicer plastics inside, which is really nice. Love the old style graphics there on the dash. So sorry everybody, I know I said I'd let you vote, but I've decided this definitely is the Tomato. It just works so well, it's just right, it fits the car, so that's what I'm going to call it. So all in all, I'm pretty excited about it really, but I was hinting at something special about this particular car, and just let me tell you what that is. Well, the Tomato has already been on TV. The Tomato is a TV star. So there's a program called Flipping Bangers. I don't know what it was on, if it was Discovery or Channel 5 or whatever, but basically they get really crappy cars and turn them around in theory.
This time on Flipping Bangers, Gus hooks us up with an old flame. This is a world of trouble.
This car was his mistake, not mine.
Can this Gallic hipster be flipped for a profit?
In theory, they got it and it had been left in a field, and they picked it up from they cut it out of a bush, took it and rescued it, did a few jobs to it, including changing the octopus. But there is a new octopus in the boot, so I don't know if they actually did do that, as they said, and lots of things that should have been done, like the cam belt, weren't done. So there are plenty of things to be done here, but in the next episode, I'm going to go much more in depth at having a look at the Tomato, seeing what bits, how bad it is, what it's like underneath, a little bit more about that leak, a bit more about the other bits, and just sort of see what the guys actually did on the show. I mean, I know TV is TV, and obviously they have to do it. Making the program is the priority. It's not necessarily doing things always 100%. But it'll be interesting to see if I can work out what they actually did or what they didn't do and what it actually needs doing. It does look like it needs a lot doing. The thing that worries me the most is this and the fluid leak, because both of those aren't strong areas, but it should be quite interesting. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. A new adventure with the tomato. Please stick with it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. If you want to contact me, then Instagram is the best way, the messenger on that. And I really look forward to seeing you all for the next episode. I want to try and get it going as well as possible. And again, in the next episode, we'll come up with a plan. It's basically going to be to get it through an MOT first and foremost, so I can actually drive it. But we'll find out a bit more about what it needs. See you soon.